Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, is a challenge that many climbers dream of conquering. For a group of climbers, the journey to the top of the mountain was filled with fear and terror. They had reached halfway up the mountain when they saw something that they could not explain. As they looked up on the ridge, they saw a creature that was all white with red glowing eyes staring down at them. It was about 8 to 9 feet tall and weighed about 800 pounds or more. The climbers were terrified, but they knew that they had to keep moving if they wanted to reach the summit. As they continued their ascent, they heard loud, body-piercing growls that could only be compared to a lion's roar. The climbers were scared, but they kept moving straight up the mountain. They couldn't help but wonder if they were encountering the legendary Yeti. They kept seeing giant footsteps following them wherever they went. The climbers tried to ignore them, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching them. They were determined to reach the top, but they knew that they had to be careful. As they climbed higher, they looked down and saw the creature that they had seen on the ridge. It was the Yeti, and it had a musk deer in its grasp. The Yeti was ripping the deer's head off and eating its guts. The climbers were frightened, but they knew that they had to keep moving. They had to get to the top, and there was no going back. They kept climbing, but they had this funny feeling that they were being watched. Then, all of a sudden, the Yeti jumped right in their path. It gave the biggest growl, with blood still on its white fur and teeth. The climbers were frozen with fear, unsure of what to do. Then, all of a sudden, the Yeti just walked away. It disappeared into the mountains, leaving the climbers in shock. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. They had encountered the legendary Yeti, and they had survived. The climbers made it to the top of Mount Everest, but they were still shaken by their encounter with the Yeti. They knew that they had to be careful on their descent, but they were eager to get off the mountain and away from the creature that they had encountered. On the way down, they moved much faster than they had on the way up. They were eager to get off the mountain and away from the Yeti. They never saw it again, but they knew that it was out there, somewhere.